The Great Falls Iceplex is in desperate need of a new system that goes underneath the ice. Whether it's a platter of meats and cheeses or fresh baked holiday goodies, right here in the cockpit of a C-130, traces of the virus are released from your body when you go to the bathroom. 1-year-old Haka here is safe and sound on dry land tonight. In case you don't recognize it, this is lettuce growing here inside this greenhouse just outside Havre. Around 3,000 heads of lettuce to be exact. And while that may seem like a big number, this is actually what would be considered a smaller operation. But that doesn't make it any less important, especially this time of year.
Hydroponics is agriculture where you use water to grow your crops. This is our main stock tank for our fertilizer water.
Inside High Horizon Gardens greenhouse, growing is a year-round business for Cody Miles and his wife Erica.
We use what's called an NFT system, nutrient film technique, where it takes a small amount of water, as you can see here, that runs down in to the channel.
Growing year-round means being able to help supply the demand from people wanting to be health conscious in the new year.
A lot of the restaurants here, they do take up probably 99% of our product, and as well as, you know, the grocery store, 2J's in Great Falls. And January we do see a spike in sales sometimes because people do get that, you know, I want to be a healthier eater.
The growing actually starts inside the couple's basement.
We have ideal growing conditions in here. The temperature, humidity, not only that, as we keep our seedlings out of the greenhouse just in case something happens in there.
Back out in the greenhouse, Erica says the business is important for more than just helping people achieve a New Year's resolution.
We also sell to Havre Public Schools, so the kids have been introduced to a fresh, locally grown product, and you know, the community's noticed a difference and they let us know that they truly do appreciate what we do.
We sell what is called raw vegetables. So according to the Department of Ag and federal regulations, we are not allowed to wash our vegetables, which is actually a good thing because we don't expose them to, you know, that excessive reused water where some of these contaminations do come from.
There's no fresh produce, especially in the wintertime. You're not going to find it up in Montana. It's a fact. So that's what we wanted to do, was give back to the community.
Giving back one head of lettuce at a time. For more information about the business, click on the link in this story on our website. In Hill County, Colt Duranstad, MTN News. This is not a typical snowplow you would see out on the street. It's actually quite a bit bigger. Great Falls International Airport has a fleet of 7 of these big machines, and whether there's snow in the air or snow on the ground, they can make quick work of it. Ryan Heinzelman has been climbing into the cabs of snowplows at Great Falls International Airport for years. He's the airport foreman and says dealing with snow starts with the forecast.
Constantly checking the forecast to see what kind of temps we're going to get, and also, you know, how much snow is supposed to come in. Kind of as we make our way back here, we'll see.
Aside from being bigger than the snowplows you see on the street, these plows have 2 unique pieces of equipment to help them get the job done.
We have our underbody scraper down here. You know, we use that in a situation where we get ice accumulated on the runway. It does a good job of getting that peeled up off the ground, you know, and then after that you still have the broom tailing behind you, and it's 22 feet in length.
Heinzelman was kind enough to take me on a ride and show me how it works.
On the first storm, it's you always have some kinks to work out, you know. After that, it really everybody kind of gets in the groove of things. It can take anywhere between 2 and 4 hours to clean the entire airfield, and that really doesn't matter if it's 5 to 6 inches or a half an inch. I mean, it's all the same surface no matter what. These trucks are capable of moving a lot of snow.
As much work as the job can sometimes be, he says he enjoys getting to put in some time with the plows.
For sure, yeah. These pieces of equipment are unlike anything else really out there.
In Great Falls, Colter Anstadt, MTN News. Even on the windiest of days.
Let's get out and take a look at that, Craig.
This memorial is unwavering. A memorial for lives tragically lost.
The plaque was placed on top of them. And the challenge coin was laid in place, and they were sent to us by McChord Air Force Base.
On November 30th, 1992, two C-141 cargo planes from McChord Air Force Base in Washington collided in the air near Harlem during a refueling training exercise. The 13 airmen on board the two planes were killed.
The memorial started the morning after the crash. The planning process started. There was a committee of about 17 people on board, and we just started making plans with private donations of money, materials, supplies, and labor.
To mark the 30th anniversary of the tragic day, the Memorial Committee is planning a ceremony to be held at the memorial in Harlem. Darwin Zelmer is one of the co-chairs of the committee.
This particular rock was peaked up and straight over and down, and we wanted it to peak in the center, except for one member said, no, you can't do that, it's going to ruin the rock. But it turned out beautiful in my opinion. And then we had the plaques built by a foundry in Montana that made all these plaques for us and at the north site. They're getting deteriorated. We need to give them a good polish, but we want to revive them and let this last forever.
It's just another closing for us.
Craig Hansen is a Memorial Committee member and was the fire chief in Harlem when the crash happened.
I think the people that have helped do this and that have responded at night or have even the community will remember some of the things. We'll hear stories about what we did.
While the ceremony serves as an important reminder of the tragedy 30 years ago, it's also an important reminder about what's needed for the next 30 years and beyond.
Settlements are getting really old, and we just need younger people to help maintain it.
Milwaukee, Olympia.
Looking over photographs and other documents related to the memorial, lifelong Harlem resident Carolee Kronk recalled the crash. She remembers it well.
That night I didn't hear the crash. I was shampooing carpet because I was having a club Christmas party the next day. So it was when I got to work the next morning and was at school, and here it is, TV going in the library, and everybody just devastated. You're having to explain a bit to kids at school.
How did you try to explain it to the kids?
Oh, goodness. You know, that these sad things happen, and they were military men doing, for your country.
Her hope is people remember the kindness and care that have been shown over the years in response to the crash.
We need to be kind and caring about other people, and I think Harlem really, really gave back. I'm a big proponent of you give back, and I still see this in the people.
Hansen and Zelmer took me down a road that ends a short distance away from the crash site. It was the first time Hansen had been back there since the crash. Among other things, he and Zelmer recalled how cold it was on that November day.
I was watching out for the members, the fire department, because we got buses up here so we could sit in the buses and wait for the military police.
we also visited the roadside memorial near the crash site.
Vic Miller was the mayor of Harlem at the time, and he said, you know, we need some stones around here from where the airplanes crashed. So him and some of the firemen and whoever else took a trailer and tractor skid steer over to the crash site, and they found these stones, and when they looked at them, they said, this is one we're going to use. It just hit them in the heart that this is part of Montana. It's a part of us. And they wanted to place these stones here to protect the memorial as well as memorialize those 13 boys.
For Hansen, the memory of bringing the airmen's families to the roadside is what sticks with him the most about the memorial.
I remember one family was looking where I was pointing where we found the fuselages, and they were looking there, and I knew where their son wasn't even in that direction. He was more to the north. And so I went over there and I told them that that's the hill over there they should be looking at. And I know to this day, I got cards from them. I get cards from them and thanking me for that day. I know if the roles were reversed, I would want somebody to do that for me. So I think that's a great thing that we did.
In Harlem, Colter Edstad, MTN News. One-year-old Haka here is safe and sound on dry land tonight after a harrowing experience in the Missouri River in Fort Benton. His owners did everything they could to try to get him out, but ultimately it was local law enforcement that saved the day.
Are you so excited? Yes.
Haka is no stranger to the Choteau County Fairgrounds.
I usually run the dogs out here, and I just kind of go around in circles and they run after me. And then I got to that end over there, and then I just had one dog. I was like, where's the other dog at?
The other dog, Haka, was in the Missouri River.
I looked over here and I seen his head popping out of the water, and he was pretty much surrounded by ice.
Owner Carlos Rodriguez first tried to use a tow strap in his side-by-side to rescue Haka.
And I was like, well, it's not long enough to get to him, because I was going to try to throw it to him so he could bite it and maybe I could pull him up or something.
Hey, come here. Sit.
The next option was the winch cable on the side-by-side, but that wasn't going to work either, so he called his wife and asked for a rope. She couldn't get the rope, so she called 911.
I've worked in emergency medicine for 15 plus years now, and I've never run an emergency that made me feel that sort of adrenaline, because this is my kid and I thought he was going to die, and I was watching it.
Fort Benton Police Chief Adam Jakes arrived and knew he needed to act quickly.
Once I went down to see where it was, I carry a life vest in the vehicles. I put on the life vest, took off all my gear, and ran down there.
Getting to Haka was easy enough, but getting him out of the water proved difficult.
The dog was tired or scared, so he just kind of froze. And at that point, I yelled over to them. I said, they're going to have to pull us. So I held on the dog, and they pulled with the rope and were able to get us both out of the water.
Haka's owners say they will now keep a closer eye on him when they let him run out here in the future. In Fort Benton, Colter Edstad, MTN News.